It's crack 40 TV.
By God, it's crack 40 TV.
By God, bloody fucking Katie wins the internet wars today. Not wars, but she wins the entertainment. I believe she just been Jimbo Alabama over fucking right in her shit bags real good. But sources tell me something that nobody knows either. But I ain't real familiar with this situation. But I'm going to spill the beans when people get in here anyway.
What up, Kai baby?
I don't brush my fucking teeth. I just ate a half an onion. By God, Katie just busted their fucking shit bag sideways, didn't she?
Oh, Larry. What up, Asian?
Yeah, Gypsy's live. She wasn't in there trolling. She might have 3 titties, but. Well, come on in. Come on in. It's crack 40 TV. I got to brush my fucking teeth. What crack 40 find out? I forgot Jimbo had court today. I was in the fucking shower beating off and got told something, honestly. I'll let y'all get in here, though. Pass me a perk 30. I'm trying to bite down. Hey, Josh Shanks' kids was in court today with Thelma. That's in her fucking neck.
What up, Ty?
Ty done messaged me. Hit the like button, by God. I'm just brushing my teeth while I'm letting y'all get in here. I just ate some spam salad, by God. I seen you in the. Did you go play poker today? Well, what did I hear today? It is WrestleMania season. Hang on.
Brush your ass banging teeth. You guys just hear him spit. He fucking spits so loud.
I got it. Well, I ain't got too many beans to spill, but on the Jimbo Thelma situation. But I heard this is how I felt. I forgot. I didn't even know they had goddamn court. Somebody messaged me and said, "Do you know Jimbo's got court today? And he's got a channel about wrestling, and it's not the coach's corner. He's grifting in the wrestling community. However, I can't confirm or deny what the channel's name is yet. That's all I was told. Like I said, I was beating off in the goddamn shirt and got told that. That's all I know. He's got another channel, and he's in a totally different universe. than the Ernest Shell universe. Don't know the name of it, but I'm harassed one, Mark. And I'm going to, me and Murder's going to Mania week, so maybe we'll find out. Stay tuned. My God, that son of a bitch looked rough in court, didn't he? Them perk 30s, especially the ones full of fentanyl, and them ones whooping them down there, skunk, by God, they're fucking treacherously strong. And they'll take that weight off of you. There's my kid, Kyla.
Come up on panel. Somebody.
What's that, Murder? I can barely hear you.
Why? Is it on my end?
Oh, well, I'm looking at Brad frozen right now.
Yeah, he's frozen on my end. He's answering the phone.
Somebody, who was it? Somebody put in chat that their YouTube was messing up.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. Chill Billy.
Yo.
Can you hear me better?
Hear me? Yeah, I can hear you better now.
I was fucked with my settings.
I wish Berto would have fucked with his settings and turned his mic down. God. I about have to put it on mute when they start talking.
It's Liberation Day, folks. It is most
Yes,
definitely Liberation Day.
Oh, yeah. Time to give back what these other countries have been giving us. That's right, Reb.
Love to see it. That's one down.
Shit already. God, that didn't take long. That's 16 hours because it went in effect at midnight, and it's been right at 16 hours in the cave.
It's Liberation Day, Asia. Reciprocal tariffs go into effect. Whatever other countries tariff us or tax us, whatever term you want to use, Trump is just raising the bar to whatever they have it raised to. So, like, yeah. Here y'all go. I don't think. Yeah, they don't got the sound on.
Well, that sucks. You know, I don't understand why so many people are mad about Trump proposing these tariffs. I mean, because these other countries, they already imposed tariffs on us by not reciprocating. People act like Trump's the worst president in the world for just trying to stand up for his country.
Damn, Rev. When's he supposed to talk? Graham? If Brad fucking don't give a fuck, or if he's still going, fuck yeah. Hey. No, not North Idaho.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Yo.
Sorry about that. It's Danny's birthday. He called me and had bullshit with him. Murder is right. And that's what he was like, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm tired. I'm going home. I said, I don't blame you.
I told you. That's exactly what I'd do. Hey, but Daddy speaks at 5 minutes. We gotta watch it. Liberals get so mad when we call him Daddy. Hey, Daddy speaks in 5 minutes. We gotta watch it. It's Liberation Day.
I'm not Jimbo, boys. I can't say no more. Yeah. I ain't. Shit, I don't blame him. I'll go home and chill too.
Yeah, I told you he would do that. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do.
He said he's stopping and getting him a $5 pizza and going home.
That's exactly what I would do.
He told me some interesting information about my brother going to the Hungry Goat. Fucking cunts out there.
Your brother went.
Talk yak to my brother about me. That's all right. He'll bust both of them down. He'll power drive from a Hungry Goat. My brother's nickname is SpongeBob and Weasel, both. That'll be the Hungry SpongeBob before you know it. I'm like a black person. My elbows are bucket ashy. Anyway. Oh, Lord. Yeah, Jimbo's supposed to have another channel under a different name, but it's him using it, and it's supposed to be Ernie's fucking live. It's a sad day. I got some terrible news. But all I know is he's got some kind of wrestling channel going. I don't know what the name of it is or nothing. That's just what I was told. Bad weather coming this way.
Brad, are you going to stand at attention and listen to Daddy when he speaks?
I mean, I might stand for old Dad. Oh, Dad! What if he gets his head popped off right here?
Don't say that. Don't you ever say that.
I mean, anything's a possibility. What if it was Biden?
He's behind the sniper.
What if he just launched his mind and walked up to Trump and had a little fucking Derringer on him and nobody even checked him? And they just walked up and said, "Hey, Don, how you doing?" Blah, blah, pop, popped him in the gut one time. It'd just bounce off Trump. You know, he's bulletproof. So, Bucker, slut up, by God. It's Crack 40 TV. Jimbo and them take that shit to trial like Mr. Big said. That burp smells like fucking onions and spam.
So when a client comes to us with an ask to launch an influencer marketing,
Ooh, I like that. Is that an ad for us or them?
Them.
What's up, Dodie, baby? Everybody else, I can't see. I'm looking. Rev, you know what Rev did? He braided his fucking pubes. He's so bored. I shaved mine. I can't braid what's. Look, my nuts feel like this right here.
What up, Dodie?
If you live in the central United States, southeast Missouri, northeast, well, basically the whole state of Arkansas, northwest Mississippi, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southwest Indiana, Southwest Illinois, Central Illinois. My God, buckle up. Y'all gonna get about 15 fucking inches of rain. It's coming down out there. See what Ryan Howe y'all say while we're waiting on no dad to speak. There's a major line of storms coming through everywhere in the middle of the country right now, from Springfield, Illinois, way back yonder to Texarkana. Memphis, east of Memphis, Caldersville, Ashton, Lemmy, Interstate 269, by God, I guess what that is. Is that dad coming out?
I think so. It just came on.
It sounds like something you'd hear in school when you got to stand up in a fucking gym for a fucking some shit. Yeah, princess. Nicolina, she's got gas. Love you too, sunshine penguin. Ass-Banging weather report, by God. I'll give you the weather better than Ryan Howe, y'all. I got a map to look at. But I'm currently jacking Ryan Howe, y'all's radar right behind Crack 40 TV on the phone. If I jump on this on the computer, you think it'll be all right?
What?
If I link in on the computer,
No, don't.
I can't see shit.
I'm gonna fix your computer.
Tornado warnings in Missouri, southwestern or southeastern, I guess, Missouri right now. Memphis, Tennessee, buckle down. Murder capital of the world about to get knocked out. You can hear Nicolina farting outside.
One of these mayors in Detroit, it was either a mayor or one of the local officials in Detroit. They did a speech on the murder capitals, and they were pissed that Detroit got bumped down on the list. Like, they sounded super upset.
Well, you probably get more grants and funds if you're number one. My son's 21 today. Man, damn. Let's see, where's this at? Bakersfield, Arkansas. West Memphis, Arkansas. That's right across the bridge from Memphis. It's getting buckled up. They're getting bowed up fucked right now. Daddy must be coming out. Everybody's looking that way. My son should get a fucking he should get to go see Trump. He's a fucking garbage man, by God.
Everyone's spamming the Canadian flag, and then people are spamming the American flag and the Australian flag in this chat.
Thank you, skunk. Shit, when he went home, went to bed, he's getting him a pizza and chilling. So my son's birthday is usually a Final Four day or a WrestleMania day, but they bumped Mania back, thank God. It's hard to have WrestleMania and the Final Four at the same time. What was this at? Coldwater, Hernando, South Haven. That's northwest Mississippi, right under Memphis. By God, buckle down. It's hard to believe that little ass-banging son of a bitch is 21, Dodie. Dodie, baby. Let me tell you something about Blind Katie, baby. Katie was 40 today, wasn't it? Katie 40. Was Katie 40. She was going ham, and the more she went ham, the harder I got. I can't even front. Wonder what kind of animal Katie would be.
This is some fucking Donald Trump entrance shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Are you supposed to do this or this, by God?
You're supposed to whip your cock out.
Hey, there's that reporter from Serbia.
Where?
What if it's him with the glasses on that's showing with that phone up like this? Is that
Oh, it might be with him with the hat on.
Yeah, seriously, I'm not even being funny. If you're at home, you better stand up and fucking dance. Oh, damn.
Rev said standing.
Katie makes me stand hard.
In a world
Come
where
on. I
chaos
don't need
reigns,
this right now.
one woman and her faithful companion.
Show us what that mouth do, bitch. That's Nicolina farting.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice crowd. What a good-looking group of people. Well, we have some very, very good news today, and a lot of good things are happening for our country. Please sit down.
All right.
My fellow
I got you,
Americans,
Pops.
this is Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time. April 75 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
By God!
Wealthy, good and wealthy. For decades, our country has been looted, pillaged, raped, and plundered by
Trudeau's ass-banging Rob Ford that Toronto mayor smoked crack.
American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen. We have a lot of them here with us today. They really suffered gravely. They watched in anguish as foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream. We had an American dream that you don't hear so much about. You did 4 years ago, and you are now, but you don't too often.
American dream died with Dusty Rhodes.
You didn't hear too much about. Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore. It's not going to happen. In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal, that means they do it to us and we do it to them. Very simple. Can't get any simpler than that.
You hear that, Buttercup?
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
He looks weakly
For years,
today.
hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper, and in so doing, use trillions and trillions of dollars to reduce our taxes and pay down our national debt, and it'll all happen very quickly. With today's action, we are finally going to be able to make America great again, greater than ever before. Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see we will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America. It's
Thank you,
coming back.
Mr.
We're
Smiley.
going to come back very strong.
Smiley.
We're pleased to be joined on this momentous occasion by Vice President J.D. Vance. J.D.
Give him a chance.
Okay. Thank you very much. Where are you, J.D.? No, that wasn't too hard to find. I was looking, he likes to take a low-key attitude. And usually he sits right in front. He's gaining a lot of confidence, Mike, isn't it? And nearly my entire cabinet, as well as Speaker Mike Johnson, has done an amazing job.
white-tail governor.
And
Fucking,
with the
you know,
great success we
Ass-Banging
had
son
last
of a
night in
bitch.
Florida, we have a majority of 7, and 7's like a lot when we had it at 1, right? You've done a fantastic job, and many of the members of the House and Senate are with us. Senators, congressmen, thank you all for being with us. We appreciate it. For decades, the United States slashed our trade barriers on other countries, while those nations placed massive tariffs on our products and created outrageous non-monetary barriers to decimate our industries.
Graham
And in many
looking good.
cases, the non-monetary barriers were worse than the monetary ones. They manipulated their currencies, subsidized their exports, stole our intellectual property, imposed exorbitant VAT taxes to disadvantage our products, adopted unfair rules and technical standards, and created filthy pollution havens. They were absolutely filthy, but they always came to us and they said, we're violating, we should pay for it. It's all detailed in a very big report by the U.S. Trade Representative on foreign trade barriers. And I'll just hold it up for you. It's available and you don't have to pay too much. As I understand it, you pay nothing. It's a lot of work for something, actually, because it's a special book. It's very, frankly, it's very upsetting when you read it, when you see what people have been doing to us for 30 years. This all
Touching
happened
us.
with no response from the United States of America, none whatsoever. But those days are over. Let me offer just a few examples of the vicious attacks our workers have faced for so many years. The United States charges other countries only a 2.4 tariff on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Thailand and others are charging much higher prices, like 60%. India charges 70%. Vietnam charges 75%, and others are even higher than that. Likewise, until today, the United States has for decades charged a 2.5 tariff. Think of that, 2.5% on foreign-made automobiles. The European Union charges us more than 10% tariffs, and they have 20% VATs, much, much higher. India charges 70%, and perhaps worst of all are the non-monetary restrictions imposed by South Korea, Japan, and very many other nations as a result of these colossal trade barriers. 81% of the cars in South Korea are made in South Korea. 94% of the cars in Japan are made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million foreign-made automobiles into the United States, and General Motors sells almost none. Ford sells very little. None of our companies are allowed to go into
Seriously,
other
are you
countries.
fucking
And
serious?
I say that friend and foe. And in
Don't
many
believe
cases,
that
the friend
Ass-Banging
is
son
worse
of a
than the foe in
bitch.
terms of trade. But such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these
Here's
other
your
countries at
national
all for this
security if
calamity.
you
I
look at
blame
my
former
page.
presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen, and they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe. That's why, effective at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
If you're in this area, you better get watching out what's going on with the
Brian,
weather.
I'd like to have you come up here for a second, okay?
Now let's
I
get
just see
back
him
to
sitting. He's
father.
been a fan of ours, and he understands this business a lot
Oh,
better.
look
than
at
the
West
economists,
Memphis,
a lot better
Arkansas.
than anybody. Brian, say a few words, please, would you? Thank you. It's a great honor to have you. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr.
Dude,
President.
we'll just get a super
I grew
chat.
up just north of
That's the
Detroit,
first
Michigan, in
$4.99 on my
Florida,
new check.
known as the home of the Reagan Democrats. My first vote for president was for Ronald Reagan. I thought that was going to be the best president I ever saw in my lifetime until Donald J. Trump came along.
My God. That's who I'm watching, Smiley.
Life, I have watched plant after
Ryan
plant
Hall's
after
on behind you
plant in
guys.
Detroit and in the Metro Detroit area close. There are now plants.
An hour-long workout. Easy.
I'll take that ad all day
Wow.
long.
There's going to
That's
be new
my ad.
investment. There's going to be new plants built, and the UAW members, and I brought 20 of them with me. They're sitting right over here. We support Donald Trump's policies on tariffs 100%. So, Mr. President, we can't thank you enough. And in 6 months or a year, we're going to begin to see the benefits. I can't wait to see what's happening 3 or 4 years down the road. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
What a
you. That's
great guy. You got
$10
it
to
right
start the
from the
mayor's
beginning.
paycheck.
Before
It rolled
almost
over
anybody
today.
else. This group over
Today's
there,
the
they
start
got
of
it
my
too.
new payday.
You know, we won the state of Michigan. We won almost all of
That's a
them,
murder.
but we won Michigan by a lot. And I want to just thank you all. The auto workers were fantastic. The Teamsters were fantastic.
I did a lot of campaigning in
Everyone
Michigan
was
and visited
pretty
with y'all
good. I
to know
will tell you.
about.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're going to be very happy very soon. And you probably see what's happening with all of the, not only car companies, but car companies in particular. See it with all of the ones they're moving, they're announcing day in, day out. You're
Thank
seeing
you,
it.
Grant.
Nobody's ever seen
Thank you,
anything like
Sunshine.
that. With today's actions, we're also standing up for our great farmers and ranchers who are brutalized by nations all over the world. Brutalized. Canada, by the way, imposes a 250 to 300% tariff on many of our dairy products. They do the first
Fucking milk.
first can of milk. They do the first little carton of milk at a very low price, but after that it gets bad, and then it gets up to 275, 300%. So when they're figuring,
Thank you
what's
for that
Canada
generous
charging?
$15 cash out
50%,
donation.
50%. But take a look at what happens down the road. When you look a little bit, it's not a
By
pretty
God.
picture, and we don't like it, and it's not fair. It's not fair to our
Sunshine
farmers.
makes
It's
me
not fair to our country.
happy.
And with countries like Canada, you know, we subsidize a lot
Oh,
of
there's
countries
another
to keep them
$2.99. I can't hear
going and
Daddy
keep
after
them
y'all
in
making
business.
so
In the
much
case of
money like
Mexico,
right
it's
now.
$300 billion a year. In the case of Canada, it's close to $400 billion a year. And I say, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? I mean, at what point do we say you got to work for yourselves, and you got to? This is why we have
Best
the big
believe I'll rail
deficits.
for
This is
money.
why we
I'll
have that
stay home.
amount of debt that's been placed on our heads over the last number of years, and we're really not taking it anymore. Through non-tariff barriers, the European Union bans imports of most American
No
poultry.
problem,
You
Grant.
understand? They say, we want to send you our cars, we want to send you everything, but we're not going to take anything that you have. Australia bans, and they're wonderful people and wonderful everything, but they ban American beef, yet we imported $3 billion of Australian beef from them just last year alone. They won't take any of our beef. They don't want it because they don't want it to affect their farmers. And you know what? I don't blame them, but we're doing the same thing right now, starting about midnight tonight, I would say. And China charges American rice farmers an overquota, it's called, a tariff rate of 65%. South Korea charges 50. Actually, they charge different, from 50% to 513%. And Japan, our friend, charges us 700%. But that's because they don't want us selling rice, another thing. Who can blame them, Madam Secretary? Agriculture, great job you did on eggs, by the way. The egg prices came down 50%. Got them down 50% once we got involved. They were going through the sky.
I heard you for $20. By God.
You did a fantastic job. Now we have lots of
Money
eggs, and
to
they're
blow.
much cheaper, down about 59%
Hey.
now, and they're going down further.
Whew, I'm
We
hitting good.
charge
Like John Gotti,
2.8%
tariffs on crack
for so
booty
many things that
TV.
other countries are charging 200%,
Trump tariffs, by
300%,
God.
and
Mayor
400%.
tariffs. Thank you.
If imposing tariffs and protective barriers made nations poor, then every country on earth would be racing to eliminate these policies, and China would be the first online. They run a
I gotta
very
file my
strong
taxes.
country, but they're not first in line, and the American people are paying a very big price. From 1789 to 1913, we were a tariff-backed nation, and the United States was proportionately the wealthiest it has ever been. So wealthy, in fact, that in the 1880s, they established a commission to decide what they were going to do with the vast sums of money they were collecting. We were collecting so much money so fast, we didn't know what to do with it. Isn't that a nice problem to have? What do you think, Marco? Good problem? Marco would love that problem. But we don't have that problem anymore, but we're not going to have it very much longer, I will tell you. But
we've got about 50 million followers. We're in the billions of views, and we're a small team.
Money, who they were going to give it to and how much. Then in 1913, for reasons unknown to mankind, they established the income tax so that citizens, rather than foreign countries, would start paying the money necessary
If
to
you're
run
in
our
the
government.
Midwest, stay safe.
Then in 1929, it all came to a very abrupt end with the Great Depression.
Jack Day,
And it
Wheels,
would have never
Sunshine.
happened if they had stayed with the tariff policy. It would have been a much different story. They tried to bring back tariffs to save our country, but it was gone. It was gone. It was too late. Nothing could have been done. It took years and years to get out of that depression, far longer than even FDR had that office right over there for a long period of time. The ramp system, that's rather intricate, was built because of him. And every time you walk up, you think of him. And he did a great job in many ways, but it lasted long beyond his terms, as you know. But it's not too late any longer. And we're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again. We're going to be wealthy as a country because they've taken so much of our wealth away from us. We're not going to let that happen. We truly can be very wealthy. We can be so much wealthier than any country. It's not even believable, but we're getting smart. Nearly a century later, in the face of unrelenting economic warfare, the United States can no longer continue with a policy of unilateral economic surrender. We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for their military. We pay for everything they have to pay. And then when you want to cut back a little bit, they
I'm
get
Larry
upset.
Hoover,
We're not
Lisa.
taking care of them any longer, but we have to take care of our people, and we're going to take care of our people first. And I'm sorry to say that. And today we're standing up for the American worker, and we are finally putting America first. In Sleepy Joe Biden's last year in office, the United States hemorrhaged 100,000 manufacturing jobs, and the number was going through the roof at levels never seen before. And our trade deficit reached a record $1.2 trillion, which is unheard of. Since the beginning of NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made. It was a horror show. I was able to terminate it. They all said you'd never be able to get it out. We had to get approval from Congress to get it terminated. We had to live with that deal. It was the worst trade deal ever made by far. But since the very beginning of NAFTA, our country lost 90,000 factories. Think of what that is, 90,000. Think about putting a map up and putting tax on it. You wouldn't have enough room. 90,000. I said, is that possible? We had it checked 4 different times, and it was actually somewhat higher than that. And 5 million manufacturing jobs were lost while racking up trade deficits of $19 trillion. That was the worst trade deal ever made. As a result of these gigantic losses, foreign nations now own $26 trillion more of American assets than think of this, than the Americans own of their own foreign assets or other foreign assets. The United States can no longer produce enough antibiotics to treat our sick. We have a tremendous problem. We have to go to foreign countries to treat our sick. From a war standpoint, we wouldn't be able to do it. We import virtually all of our computers, phones, televisions, and electronics. We used to dominate the field, and now we import it all from different countries. A single shipyard in China now produces more ships every year than all of the American shipyards combined. Think of that. And it was a business that we used to dominate. We used to dominate it totally. In short, chronic trade deficits are no longer merely an economic problem. They're a national emergency that threatens our security and our very way of life. It's a very great threat to our country. And for these reasons, starting tomorrow, the United States will implement reciprocal tariffs on other nations. It's been a long time since we even thought of that. We used to think about it a lot. We didn't think about it for many decades, and you see what's happened. For nations that treat us badly, we will calculate the combined rate of all their tariffs, non-monetary barriers, and other forms of cheating. And because we are being very kind, we're kind people, very kind. You're not so kind when you got ripped off with your salaries. My auto worker friends and my Teamster friends and all of the unions that typically voted Democrat, they're not voting Democrat anymore because worker, whether union or non-worker, they're for the Republicans now. That's what happened. But we will charge them approximately half of what they are and have been charging us. So the tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been
Yes,
tough
Viper.
for a lot of countries who
He
didn't want
looks
to
like
do that.
strung
I'd like
out
to see
Peter
them
Griffin,
started.
by God.
You bring it up, Howard. This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard.
People's
So
got to watch the
if you
news
look at
right quick.
China, first row, China,
Rawr!
67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out
He
here.
can
We didn't want
believe
to bring
being
out the big
employed by
charts.
plungers
No
on the
chance
while,
to
backing up on them.
Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%. So we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge
My
anybody
son
anything.
throws
Now
garbage
we're
and
going to
drives a
charge.
garbage truck every fucking day.
European Union, they're
every
very
morning.
tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%. So we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me. I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now
He's
we have
on
almost
daddy
none of it,
meth.
except the biggest
He's on
company
that
is coming
real
in.
cool
We're
meth.
going to end
Don't
up with
trip you
almost
out.
40%. Lee
Just keep
Zeldin's
you
working
up.
to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually.
Daddy
They're
pumps
coming
on
in from
tiger meth,
Taiwan, and
these
they're going to
little
build
tweakers.
one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute
That
desk.
ass-banging son of a bitch in Biden.
Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars.
He's got a list like Chris Jericho, by God.
46%, we're
You
charging
just
them
made the
24%.
list.
India, very, very tough. Very, very tough.
Memphis,
Prime Minister
Memphis,
just left.
Tennessee, get ready.
Great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China and charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs, and they understood.
Everybody
honestly.
gets turned
President
down the
Xi
first time
understood. He
for
said,
your
"Look, I
crazy check,
understand."
but
And
I
the
figured
other
if you had
countries, and they all
HIV in the
understand.
ass, they'd
We're
give
going to
it
have to
to
go
you.
through a little tough love, maybe, but they all understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination. But I went to him and I said, Shinzo,
By God.
we have to do something. A trade is not fair. He said, I know that. I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but
Damn,
he understood
Viper.
immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal. But
How did he
frankly,
get assassinated?
there were many years
Is that
left
the
in
one
the
they
deal was
poked in the
made
neck and
previous to my
shit?
getting there. It was something. If you look at Switzerland, 61% to 31%. Indonesia, Malaysia, Cambodia. Oh, look at Cambodia, 97%. We're going
Not
to
a
bring it
bit
down
of it, Kelly,
to 40, and
Kelly,
they made
Kelly.
a fortune with the United States of America. United Kingdom, 10%.
We'll go over it in a minute.
And we'll go 10%. So we'll do the same thing.
No
South
crazy
Africa,
check for the tiger.
60%, 30%. And they've got some bad things going on in South Africa. You know, we're paying them billions of dollars, and we cut the funding because a lot of bad things are happening in South Africa. The fake news ought to be looking at it. They don't want to report it. Brazil, 10%, 10%, Bangladesh.
Goddamn anal bleaching.
74%.
Pressed anal
You see what's
bleaching.
going on?
Black market anal bleaching. Put a tariff on that, Brazil.
Sri Lanka, 88%. So what we're doing is we're taking not the full, we could take the full 88%. Thanks a lot.
That sounds like bad, mate.
How's he doing? Huh? I think you better take it with you. It's not going to last very long. He's going to put
They're
it. It's
all
gonna
on the
follow you
list,
down
by
to the wind.
God.
I brought a hat just in case it got too windy, but here, would anybody like a hat?
Yeah, you
I'm
can have
not
mine,
giving it
Daddy.
I'm giving it to the auto workers. Come here.
By God, throw them out, Daddy.
Thank you, fellas. Get it. That's it. That's it. They deserve it more than our cabinet. Our cabinet has plenty of hats. But you see the numbers. The numbers are so disproportionate. They're so unfair. At the same time, we will establish a minimum baseline tariff of 10%. You notice that on the chart? And that'll be on other countries to help rebuild our economy and to prevent cheating. So we're going to have a minimum of cheating, and we're going to be very severe on the people that at the gate that watch the tariffs and watch the product coming in, because there's been a lot of bad things happening at the gate because the money is so enormous.
I fail at everything I set out to do.
And there are a lot of bad things happen at the people that do the check-in, and they're looking at 10-year jail sentences if they do play. We're going to treat them so good, but if they cheat, the repercussions are going to be extremely strong. Foreign nations
Ass-bang them if they cheat, by God.
Access to our market, the biggest market in the world. We're right now the biggest market in the world. We had a great country 4 years ago in terms of the economics. We were doubling up on China. We were doing so well. Nobody was going to catch us, but so much of it slipped away over the last 4 years under Biden. I campaigned on this policy throughout last year, and today that promise was made, and it was also a promise, as you know, that was kept. Promises made, promises kept. To any company that objects to our common sense reciprocal tariffs, again, reciprocal, back and forth, back and forth. And I call this kind reciprocal. This is not full reciprocal. This is kind reciprocal. But
I think he looks a little swelled up in the face, sunshine.
My answer is very simple. If they complain, if you want your tariff rate to be zero, then you build your product right here in America, because there is no tariff if you build your plant, your product in America. And we've seen companies coming in like we've never seen
the
before.
International
Likewise, all of the foreign presidents, prime ministers, kings, queens, ambassadors, and everyone else who will soon be calling to ask for exemptions from these tariffs. I say, terminate your own tariffs, drop your barriers, don't manipulate your currencies. They manipulate their currencies like nobody can even believe, which is a bad, bad thing and very devastating to us. And start buying tens of billions of dollars of American goods. Tariffs give our country protection against those that would do us economic harm. And many people were looking to do us economic harm. Maybe not so obviously, but they were doing tremendous economic harm. But even more importantly, they will give us growth. These tariffs are going to give us growth like you haven't seen before. And it'll be something very special to watch. I am so looking forward to
San Francisco,
even faster than you said. You know, you might
Washington, Missouri,
say,
you're under a tornado warning.
It's already started. Work's already begun on plants all around the country. And you see that as before. These are big, rich companies. We have $61 billion started on a big plant going up. It's going to be announced over the next 2 days, and they already started work. Many of these biggest companies in the world, they've committed to build. We're going to build, sir. And they came here to see me, and they wanted to know if they could have a press conference. I do as many as I can. I'm pretty busy trying to stop Russia and Ukraine and the Middle East. We got to stop that. We got to stop the Houthis, which we're making tremendous. They like shooting ships down and out of the water, sinking ships. They get a kick out of it, but they're not getting such a kick out of it now, are they, Mr. Secretary? They're not getting such a kick out of that now. But here are just a short list of some of the companies that have already announced and committed to investment. And this is a company that built its factories and its plants in China. Apple is going to spend $500 billion. They never spent money like that here. They're going to build their plants here. SoftBank, OpenAI, and Oracle, great companies, are investing $500 billion almost immediately. NVIDIA, a hot company, is investing hundreds of billions of dollars.
Media.
Just announced TSMC,
Art Media.
the biggest, most important company
Tiger
in the
Media.
world,
Nickel Media.
Taiwan, with no investment from us, is investing $200 billion. And they said the reason was, number one, the election of November 5th, and number two, the tariffs. They don't want to pay the tariffs, and the way they're not paying it is to build their plant here. So we're going to go from almost no percentage. We used to have 100% of the chip market. Now it's all in Taiwan. Almost all of it's in Taiwan, a couple of other countries, but mostly in Taiwan. And think of it, we had 100%. We lost it because of people in that office that didn't do their job. They allowed it to be stolen.
They Ass-Banged the
Johnson
fucking
and Johnson,
pencils.
great company, $55 billion. Eli Lilly, $27 billion. Meta is investing $500 billion. Wow.
Damn,
Mac
Ron Artest.
investing $20 billion. CMA, CGM, $20 billion. And then you have Merck,
Country
Clarion,
Music Awards.
Stellantis, General Motors, GE Aerospace, Honda, Nissan, Hyundai are all putting in billions and billions of dollars, and they're committed 100%. So
No food stamps, by God.
we've never had, and this is after 2.5 months. This is after just a short, this all took place as soon as we came out with what everybody wanted to do. You know, I watched a gentleman today on television. He used to work with Lee Iacocca, a very respected automobile person. And he said, you know, because they're asking people, they try and get as many negative people as they can, but they can't find them too much. It's pretty hard to find in terms of what we're doing, especially when they see all this investment. They said, so tell me, what do you think of what Trump is doing from the automobile standpoint? He said, I can't believe it. Somebody is finally, he's an older guy, real pro, really top guy with Lee Iacocca. He said, I never thought I'd see the day when this would happen, where somebody had the courage to go and do what has to be done. This is transforming our nation. Our entire nation is going to be transformed, not only with the cars, but on every single other item that's built.
Buying in southwestern Missouri, Brad Arnold's there,
so
by
beautifully
God.
today. In fact, I'm going to find out. I'm going to get a tape.
Mississippi County, Arkansas.
And I'm going to send it to you out in Long Island, and you're going to play it for the people and all your union workers and your non-union workers out there. You got a pretty even split. But we have, so far, it looks like we're going to have about $6 trillion of investments, and you wouldn't do that in years in this country over the last number of years. $6 trillion. And that's going to be much higher by the end of the year. And think of what $6 trillion is. You wouldn't have even a small percentage of that under this other system. We're going to be an entirely different country, and it's going to be fantastic for the workers. It's going to be fantastic for everyone. There will never have been a transformation of a country like the transformation that's already happening in the United States of America. It's an incredible thing to watch, and it's incredible to meet with the top people that you read about, very wealthy people, or people that are great managers and executives and presidents of big public companies, and to watch the enthusiasm they have now that they didn't have. They gave up on our country. They went to foreign countries and they built. Companies are pouring into our country at levels never seen before, with jobs and money to follow, and it's really beautiful. In the coming days, there will be complaints from the globalists and the outsourcers and special interests and the fake news. Always, fake news will always complain.
Fake news.
But never forget.
Danny, you remember when Grant Gilly wouldn't let us watch CNN and wrote no fake news all over the house on fucking notepads?
They were wrong about NAFTA. They were wrong about China. They were wrong about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which would have been a disaster if I didn't terminate it. If I didn't terminate that, United Auto Workers, you would have had no jobs in this country. You would have had no jobs. It was all going to other countries. In my first term, they said tariffs would crash the economy. Instead, we built the greatest economy in the history of
He
the
did
world.
not lie about that,
I have
Ted.
great respect for President Xi of China, great respect for China, but they were taking tremendous advantage of us, and I commend them for that. I say, hey, if you can get away with it, that's okay. But they understand exactly what's happening, and they probably, most of them are saying it's about time they did something. But and they're going to fight. They're going to fight fair. Everyone's going to fight. It's like I say to the leaders, look, you got to take care of your country, but we have to start taking care of our country now. We can't do what we've been doing for the last 50 years. From the day of my election, the stock market went up in my first term 88%, with NASDAQ going up 155%, more than any president has ever had in any term in office by far. And I think we're going to blow that away. And maybe the numbers won't show, but I think they're going to show much better than even those numbers. But what you're going to see is you're going to see activity, that empty, dead sites, factories that are falling down. Those factories will be knocked down, and they're going to have brand new factories built in their place. They're not only talking about renovating, they're talking about brand new, the best anywhere in the world, the biggest anywhere in the world. I have a friend who builds car plants, and I said, I want to see the biggest and the best. He said, well, we have to go to Mexico. I said, no, I want to see it in the United States. He said, we're not building them in there. This is a year and a half ago during the campaign. He said, we're not building it. You'd have to go to Mexico. When I was starting to decide to run, and I went to number one in the polls very rapidly, I want to say, like let's say in the first hour, and then shortly thereafter, it looked like I was going to win, and the fake news was saying, "Oh no, don't do this." What they don't know is if I didn't win, they would have really been in trouble, because nobody wants to read them anyway. But I tell you what, when it looked like I was going to win, I announced that I was going to be doing exactly what we're talking about today. Great consistency, actually, because I've been talking about it for 40 years, but because I saw what was happening 40 years ago. If you look at my old speeches when I was young, very handsome, my old speeches, and that people would say, I'd be on a television show, I'd be talking about how we were being ripped off by these countries. I mean, nothing changes very much. The only thing that changed were the countries, but nothing really changes. But it's why it's such an honor. It's such an honor to be finally able to do this. If you look at China, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in my term, hundreds of billions. They never paid 10 cents to any other president, and yet they paid hundreds of billions, so much so that Biden couldn't do anything.
Show of force, inbound 30 seconds.
Stand by! China. You know what the relationship was? He had a special relationship.
People might never mention the drones either.
The numbers were so big that they couldn't do it. So they did ease it up. They did things that they shouldn't have done. They made it a lot more comfortable for them, but they couldn't do it because the numbers were hundreds of billions of dollars. And I did that. And we were on our way to doing something like incredible. And then we had a very bad election happen, a very bad election. A lot of bad things happened. So when I said we got to do it again, I said we have to make it too big to rig. And we made it too big to rig, and we won in records. And it was a monumental win. And it was such an honor to see so many of you, like Brian and your friends, here with us to celebrate, and to more importantly celebrate what we're doing, because that wouldn't be a full celebration if we didn't do this, because this will be an entirely different country in a short period of time. It'll be something the whole world will be talking about it. The critics made the very tired predictions earlier this year, but in February, core inflation dropped to the lowest rate in 4 years. And the price of eggs, as you know, just in a month and a half, we were there for 4 weeks. And the first week I got blamed for eggs. I said, I just got here. They said eggs have gone up at like 250% and you can't get eggs. And they were going crazy. And I said, I just got here. And then we got to work on eggs, and we got to work on everything. And our great Secretary of Agriculture, you did a fantastic job. Brooke Rollins, she did a fantastic job. And as I said before, the price of eggs dropped now 59%, and they're going down more, and the availability is fantastic. They were saying that for Easter, please don't use eggs. Could you use plastic eggs? I said, we don't want to do that. We want to.
Goddamn caster, the son of a bitches.
Thank you very much, Brooke. You did
Just
great.
release all the
Likewise,
dig
an
eggs
old-fashioned term
Diddy's
that we
got
use
for
groceries.
Diddy's
I used it on
evidence.
the campaign. It's such an old-fashioned term, but a beautiful
we
term.
gotta do.
Groceries. It sort of says a bag with different things in it. Groceries went through the roof. And I
God damn,
campaigned on
Ashley
that. I
Parker,
talked
what
about
I
poor
do to be your
groceries
seat.
for a lot. And energy costs now are down. Groceries are down. Gasoline is way under $3, and people are beginning to be able to buy things and live again. We brought prices way down. We created 10,000 already in a few weeks, new manufacturing jobs. And it was that took place in 1 month, numbers that they haven't seen in a long time. We had virtually no inflation under my term. We had virtually no inflation for 4 years. But after transitioning over to Sleepy Joe, it went from almost non-existent to the highest in the history of our country. They're the highest inflation in the history of our country, brought up by energy and bad spending and bad policy, and a lot of bad things happened. How about allowing millions and millions and millions of people to pour into our country with open borders, where it's so sad to see even now. And I see our great secretary of you have done. Stand up, please, Christy. Stand up. Christy Nome and Tom Holman. These people are doing a great job, but gotten them out in records. We have problems with judges that don't want them to go out. They want Tren de Aragua, and they want MS-13, the most vicious gangs ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Absolute killer gangs. They kill people. They don't even think about it. And we put them out, and we have judges now, radical left judges that they don't want them to go out. They want them to even be brought back. Let's bring them back. You've done a fantastic job, and please thank everybody. Homeland Security, thank everybody. Appreciate it. And we now have a border that's the best border that we've ever had, even better than it was my first term. My first term, we did good, but this one we really specialized in. We've done really well. And we had records.
The place Ernie got kicked out of at the Pageant
4 years ago. We had
when
the
he
best
first got
border
out of
ever
jail.
was, and now we have.
I'm reading John
actually matched
McKenzie's
it and done
Facebook
even better,
post.
and we're going to get it down the right way. And we want people, by the way, to come into our country, but we want them to come in through a legal process. We want them to come in legally. We need more people. We need people to run these plants and to help the auto workers and the Teamsters and the non-union people and everybody else. But we need people and the farmers. And we're going to let people come in, but they want to come in. We want them
My
to come
God,
in
there's a
legally. They have to have
tornado.
the capability of loving our country. Not
Oh,
people that
Lord,
hate our
Shelby
country.
County, that's Memphis.
And now
Look
we're
at
going to
here.
pass the largest tax cuts in American history, and that's where we're relying on Mike and John Thune.
Look at
And
that
we
big
will not
nigger
cut
foreman back
Social
there, by
Security,
God.
Medicare or Medicaid benefits, and the Democrats will,
Let's
because
see. Where the fuck would that be at? It says Shelby County. That's Memphis. Probably right there. That's probably what that is.
They were horrible.
By God.
I think one of the reasons people like the job, I have my highest approval ratings because
Memphis has got a big ass tornado on the ground. That's gotta be an F3 at least.
I appreciate that at least. But Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader
That's down, Mike Johnson.
John Thune have been fantastic, by the way. But they've been working tirelessly on taking the next step to pass the plan for our one big beautiful bill. I'd like to name it that if you can. One big beautiful. I made that statement about 6 months ago, and everybody calls it one big.
That's what I'm watching.
It will be that. It'll have everything, the big tax cuts and every incentive there is, and it'll be fantastic. And by the way, for the cars, we're asking for an interest deduction on a loan. So if you build the car only in America, we do it, Brian. If the car's not built in America, you don't get the interest rate deduction. But if you build the car in America, if you buy a car,
you got to get hammered, sunshine.
then you get an interest rate deduction, tax deduction, and that's a big thing.
South Haven, Memphis.
I think that's going to pay for itself very quickly.
Covington, Ripley.
We've never had anything like that before. Somebody said, where do you get the idea? Because it's so basic. You would think that would have happened a long time ago. It never did, and I'm very happy it didn't, because now I can say that was my idea. But
by God,
we're going to get us closer to the debt extension. We have to get the debt extension passed, and I know you're going to be able to do that, Mike, and it's very important that you do that. And all of the other things that the Senate budget plan gives us, along with working, because I know they're working
I
together.
wish I
John,
believe you
Mike,
ain't got much to
and the
worry
two
about
bills are going
essentially.
very well together. We need to get our shared priorities done, including certain permanent tax cuts. We want the tax cuts to be permanent, spending cuts, energy, and historic investments in defense, border, and so much more. We're covering everything. These will be phenomenal. There'll be no bill like this going to straighten. One bill is going to straighten out our country for many, many years to come. And we said, let's just do it and let's get it done. And some guys will love it, and some guys will like it a little bit less because they're not getting what they were exactly looking for, but they're getting a lot. They'll never, if we get this done, it'll be the most incredible bill ever passed in the history of our Congress and Senate and congressmen, the senators and the congressmen, many of whom are here today, will be very proud of themselves. I really believe that it's going to set us on a whole new prosperous path. We're going to cut spending and right size the budget back to where it should be. We're going to do that very strongly. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, John. Thank you. Oh, look at all of our senators over there. Oh boy, that's a nice group of people. But I won't like them so much if they don't get this bill done. That's a great group, and Congressman, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Tremendous people. The Senate plan is my complete and total support, and the House plan likewise is very similar. They're moving along pretty much at the same clip, and as soon as you're ready, you'll show it to me, and I'm sure it'll have my support, Mike. Every Republican congressman and senator must unify. We have to unify. We can't be separated. We have to get it done. We have to get absolutely everything we can, and we have to take care of the American people. That's the only thing that matters. We have to take care of the American people first. We need to pass this bill immediately, get it done, including debt extension. From this day on, we're not going to let anyone tell us that American workers and families cannot have the future that they deserve. We're going to produce the cars and ships, chips, airplanes, minerals, and medicines that we need right here in America. The pharmaceutical companies are going to become roaring back. They're coming roaring back. They're all coming back to our country because if they don't, they got a big tax to pay. And if they do, I'll be very happy, and you're going to be very happy, and you're going to be very safe. We're going to build our future with American hands, with American heart, American steel,
Hard fucking dicks.
American pride like we used to. We're approaching our 100th day as president and have been given credit by a lot of people, actually, even some of the fake news. Can you believe it? Which in this case, hopefully isn't fake, for having done more in that time than any other administration in the history of our country in the first 100 days. I think we've had an amazing in terms of what we've done, what we've gotten accomplished. I'd like to see if we can get that war ended and another war from not starting in the Middle East. We have to get Russia. They're losing 2,000 on average, 2,500 people a day, young people, soldiers, Russian. Think of that, 2,500 through some days, but on average, probably over about a 1 week.
Ukraine fucking their ass out.
712, they say. They're losing those soldiers. They're dying. They're being decimated, and they're not from our country, but they're from other countries. But they're human beings. They're from
Ernie
Russia.
should go to Ukraine and fight.
Most of them. And we're going to.
Ernie needs to go on the run and go to Ukraine and be a soldier.
President, that it shouldn't
Ass-banging son of a
allowed to
bitch.
go on. And I think we're being given good cooperation by Russia and by Ukraine, but we have to get it stopped. It's humanity.
I was getting hooked on
It's a terrible thing.
Sunshine.
This will be a very big moment. I think you're going to remember today. It's going to be a free nation that we're dealing with. We're going to have a very free and beautiful nation. It's going to be Liberation Day in America, and it's going to be a day that hopefully you're going to look back in years to come and you're going to say, you know, he was right. This has turned out to be one of the most important days in the history of our country. God bless you and God bless America. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Hey, listen to the mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daddy. Now they can start making piss jugs for goo to shoot up in Kaywood. He'll melt down a urinal and shoot it up. and he eats ramen noodle seasoning for breakfast. And maybe they can start making urinals and piss jugs in America a lot cheaper now. That's what I'm wondering. I can't believe people's really in Kaywood floating down the river on piss jugs. Oh, Lord. But yeah, if you're in the Jackson, Mississippi, Lexington, Mississippi, Boulevard, Tennessee, you better watch your fucking back. Because Lightning Tiger will God fuck. Get up here, you son of a bitch! Sorry. So anyway, well, I'm glad, sunshine. You know John McKenzie. You see what he said about going all the piss jugs, Amanda? So, who wants to come up on panel now that we've heard Father Trump and it's Liberation Day, Danny's birthday? Gucci Goo up our shitting in piss jugs and putting ramen noodle seasoning on it and sharing it with the cats, by God. I sent whoever John McKenzie is the link to come up on panel. I don't know who he is, but motherfucker's pure fucking wreck. It's a troll, I know. I can't quite nail it. So from what I'm reading in the comments, Markella, Ella, so Ernie got turned down for his stupid income check, social stupid income check. And he says side disability retarded check. He couldn't get it, right? Well, hell, I tried to get mine 4 or 5 times and quit. I just quit and said, fuck it, I'm going to crack 40 TV. I ain't going to be no lazy bastard no more. And you get turned down a few times, you know. Everybody knows that, I guess. But I want to know more about what's going on with Ernest as I'm watching the weather. Springfield, Bloomington, you're in trouble. Everywhere's got bad weather, and it's coming my way. Well, I guess Ernie did. I don't know what I was going on with Ernie. I didn't watch his live. We was too busy going live and watching Trump. It looks like me in the morning when I go to shit when I wake up and make my coffee. Well, somebody come up here and tell me what happened, because I sure don't know. All I know is Carroll, Tennessee, Chester, Crockett, Pasmascott, Missouri. All of these counties and zones are in fucking trouble. They're going to get 15 inches of rain by Sunday. Yep, you're right. You're right, Ted. You're right. He needs to get him a crazy check, attorney. So did he get kicked out? There's Bloomington, Clinton, Fisher. That's up in central Indiana, it looks like. Central Illinois. One of the two, I can't tell yet. But yeah, Ernie should be able to get a crazy check. Fuck. Then he'll be borrowing money and say, let me borrow $5 till check day. What? He got kicked out of Tiger Ops. Charlie's tent or Jimbo's dog cage? Somebody's here. There's a knock on the door.
It's me. What you doing?
Starting breaker, what you doing?
Oh, nothing. Been out running around out in this hot ass weather down in Middlesboro. But yeah, I've tried to get John, my best talking John McKenzie and coming up on panel for you too. I talk to him every now and then. He is straight wreck. He's funnier and shit.
Damn, I reckon. Talking about why would a bounty hunter need a 12-inch dildo and Ernie Shell carved dildos out of railroad spikes?
That's what I say. He said he's carving them out of railroad ties and let's see here, goo tying together piss jugs to float and stuff.
He is mortal.
He was putting something on there last night about somebody screwing a girl that he was having threesomes with his wife with behind her back and giving them herpes. I don't know. Some crazy Chris Earls, that was the name. I couldn't believe it. I don't know him either. And I was like, damn, they're hit. I started to put PSA announcement on it just for being nice, but I didn't. I took it down. I figured he was wrecking enough on it. I figured I'd just stay out of it.
I don't know who it is. I can't help but to comment on it. 50 million people say it's to be, are you John McKenzie or who's John McKenzie?
But you can tell it's somebody you've got to be close with because they got your same straight attitude and joking nature.
Has to be somebody I know very well.
But yeah, it's somebody we all know pretty good.
Yeah, I believe it definitely is. So, Ass-Banging Ernie got kicked out of sober living or what? He failed a drug test?
Is that what you heard?
I'm reading the comments. This is what I heard. I was in the shower and I swear to God, I was beating off my phone fucking hit. And somebody said, I ain't for sure what the channel. Basically, there's like, I don't know exactly what the channel is, but Jimbo's got another channel in a totally different community. And he's going by a different name on a different account. And he's grifting the same way he was on the stand, but it's in the wrestling community where he used to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know more. I'll find out more as I can figure it out. But
yeah,
I mean, I think Ernie just got kicked out of a rehab, a sober living, a halfway house.
Yeah.
One of the three. I mean, they're basically all the same fucking thing. Just a halfway house. You can go out and do shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say he's not got kicked out. I'd say he's probably got like warned about doing something. He's probably laid out too late after curfew or something, or he's done something that they're frowned upon or something. And
he's been like Fat Boy Mars. They've caught him in a goddamn closet with the plunger on a while back up on it, balls deep.
That could be it too.
Janitorial skills. He can clean toilets with plungers in his ass.
They frown upon stuff like that. I know I went to rehab one time and there was this one girl, she was saying, why can't I get the rest of my stuff? They said, because it was sexually explicit and you can't have it in here. And she said, well, how am I? She said, I'm doing a year in here. She said, I got to have something to entertain myself. She brought dildos and everything. And they wouldn't let her have one of them. She'd brought like 5 or 6 with her and lube and stuff. And they asked her if she was trying to have some kind of orgy party in there. She said, if that's what they wanted to do. She said, but I was under the impersonation or whatever, under the influence of being told that she was going to have like her own room with maybe one roommate. She didn't expect to have to share a room with about 8 other girls in bunk beds.
Well, goddamn, I took wrestling magazines to the fucking crossroads with me back in 05. They wouldn't even let me have wrestling magazines.
Buddy, I took probably 100 to 200 Sharpie markers with me that I'd bought throughout the year that was good, where I was always drawing with Sharpies and shit and paint Sharpies and stuff. They wouldn't let me have them, afraid I had dope hid inside of them. Said I could have tore them apart and hit it in them. Meanwhile, there was a girl coming in there, had it taped right underneath her titty coming in there with it.
Damn.
They don't tend to check the rolls on the women. They just make them get naked and squat. That's about it. And turn around. They don't make them lift nothing and check under it. So I guess it's good to have rolls if you're not wanting to give up the dope.
By God.
All them times I went in thin and little, I thought, shit, if I'd just got a little bit smaller and deflated up top, I could have rolled it and licked them and sticked them and got it in there.
By God, got everybody tore down in the crazy house. Merlin went back last night.
In that house?
Yeah.
They don't
I didn't know it till earlier. Steve said the ambulance come and got her again. She ain't got no water. She ain't got no TV.
Damn. How's she living over there like that?
I don't know. She was fucking Steve for a few days. You know how Steve is.
I believe she's got a timeshare at that fucking nut ward.
She does. She has to have a fucking timeshare on that motherfucker. Steve said he couldn't handle her grunting all the time.
I met her one time in the nut ward about 7 years ago, and I meant to bring this up to her one time that's how I remembered her, because I met her in rehab and got to make friends with her, but I remembered her from meeting her in the nut ward once. They put me in there. I was just acting crazy to get out going to jail. And they put me in there with her, and she was hollering she was Al Capone's granddaughter, and she was throwing scalding hot coffee in this little skinny girl's face. I mean, through scalding hot coffee. I mean, it burnt this little girl up. Threw it all in her face and it running down her. And she said, "Take that, you little bitch." And she said, my granddaddy Capone told me not to take no shit from those skinny bitches like that. And she was hollering, I'm the queen around here, so bow down, whores, and stuff like that. But she get put in jail up there that year I spent up there in HCDC, and where she knew me from rehab, and I'd always give her cigarettes and shit when she was out. I'd buy her a pack and give to her too here and there when I got some cash in. And she give me e-cigs in there because I didn't have it coming in like that when I was in jail. Nobody wasn't supporting me like that or even trying to show me no love in there. It's like, fuck me, forget me when I got put in there. And,
no dog Carnahan money.
But when I was in there, I was under a different last name. You know what I mean? I never let nobody know my government last name that I have to go by. It saves a lot of trouble, especially if you go out with people that you don't want to see no more. It saves a lot of trouble down, for real. I had one idiot try and do a welfare check on me because I wouldn't answer his fucking phone calls and shit. He sent the fucking police to my house to check on me. Said he thought my mom was holding me hostage and mentally abusing me, not letting me talk to him and shit.
Damn.
It's a fucking nut. He was out there on that dope, man. I just got out of jail, and I was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with you, you know. I said, get me out here in your fucking shitty-ass car riding these roads like that with dope in your pocket. I said, I'm not going down for another motherfucker's charge again because they got shit in their pocket and then say it's hers again. And I said, I have to go and sit another year. I said, I'll be damned if that's going to fucking happen if I can help it. But yeah, that fucking nut, he was a fucking case. He started stalking my mom, stalking my kids, stalking my ex-husband and his wife, trying to message them, message my sisters that I haven't talked to in years. I mean, stupid, crazy bastard. You probably know who he is.
Thomas or Darrell?
His name is Joseph Holmes.
No, I don't. Uh-oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Blame Katie has just went live with the rest of the Ernest Shell info. What should we do? I just got the notification.
You want me to hop off here and go troll it?
All right. I think I'm just going to pull it up on the TV and listen to it.
I pop in nicely and I'll watch some of these little episodes that people puts on sometimes. I nicely watch and I'll say hello. I don't put no mean comments or nothing.
Well, we can say
happened with that, and yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Lindy. Hey, Batty. I'm not gonna say.
Was Ernie really crying?
As you come in, but I'm not gonna scroll back up. But yeah, so if you missed it this morning, If you missed it this
YouTube's
morning,
crazy, ain't it?
Geppetto and Belmer's cases were
I
extended
had
to
so much
April
drama on
30th
YouTube here
as
lately
the
of some
court
crazy stuff with different
whoever
channels that I subscribe to.
was,
There's this one man I watch. His dad got
so
his
they,
trailer plumb took over by his daughter on him
they
while he was
extended
in the
that until
hospital
April 2nd of
for 2
April.
months. She took everything
And
he owned, trashed
I
the
covered
place.
it. If
I
you go
mean,
back
it
to my
looks
last
condemnable.
I
She
cover,
left it
like,
with dog shit
what,
on the sink
like, all
counters
the
and
eats and stuff like that.
like dog pissed out, walls tore out. It was like totally trashed. And they was videoing it and stuff. I couldn't believe how bad it looked. They showed
I
before
also played
pictures what it looked like when he was
their
there,
appearance
and then what it looked like after she left. It was unbelievable.
played a video
And they had all
of
kinds of craziness commenting on there.
the
I
time
figured they'd try and take
before
it money for him, you know, to try and get his shit cleaned up and set back up for him where he's real elderly and on fixed income, but they wouldn't ask him for nothing. I was going to send him a few bucks
today. Well, now
just to help donate to the cleanup cause, you know.
so they're extending
Pay
it
somebody come,
again to the 30th.
pay somebody a couple hot rails, they'll come in there and clean it real good.
They're only like a couple of counties away. I mean, they live in like a small white county like what we're from, you know, Harlan, and
slow, y'all.
like Harlan, Middlesboro size. They're just like
So
a couple counties away, like Tennessee, I think.
Is gonna keep on
I'm not
pushing for this.
disagreeing with nothing Katie said today, but have you ever been to district court in London?
People are
Yes.
definitely going to
I mean,
push this for him to get
sometimes people don't show up for court. People really have family emergencies, but that was a different judge than I just recently had to beat a DUI. Different judge, same bailiff.
Yeah. I've been to court in all these counties: Fayette, London's, Whitley, Knox, Knott, Harlan, Bell. I've been to a little bit of court everywhere.
So
Alabama, let's see here, South Carolina. I about made it in Pennsylvania's one time. Came close to Texas. Closest I came to Texas was going and bailing old Skinny Ray out from Cold Spring, Texas jail when he'd stole the mobile snitch of Texas right straight out of the middle of the road. He said he was going to use that little trailer. I call it a mobile snitch. It's got cameras on it, and it's what they troll the traffic with on them intersections for speeding and tracking cars and stuff, and it reads their license plates as they go by and stuff. He saw that thing and he said, "Well, I think I just found my new tool in your trailer." he backed that hitch up and got it, and I kind of helped him out there getting it. I ain't gonna lie. And he had that thing peeled open like a tuna fish can and had it gutted. And when they started having a helicopter above us over in fucking Texas, and he said, "Yo, Amanda, hey, Amanda, baby, I'm hit." And then with a joint hanging out of his mouth, looking all hillbilly hanging out that damn thing. He said, "Bring me a beer before I go."
Skinny Ray's a nut.
Yeah, he's back in the HCDC again, I reckon. He was with Kim Goins. She's going by Kim Lowe on Facebook. Said she's his wife now. I don't know if they really got married or if they're just Facebook married. But she messaged me like, I guess she might have thought I wanted him or something. And she's like, I'm with him now. I'm his wife. We're married now. And I was like, well, that's great. I said, maybe you can straighten him out. Yeah. I don't know. I'll get random messages from girls every now and then about their dudes. I guess where their dude, I know them. Hell, I grew up with nothing but about 36 boy cousins and nothing but guy friends, where I was pretty much the only girl around, nothing but boy cousins and all their guy friends. It's about all I know. I welcome having a girlfriend every now and then when I can make one, and I stay in good contact with them when I do. When I have a gal pal, I sure don't fuck around with their men at all. That's a no.
You know what I would like to know? How and who? Because, see, I had that source when Ernie went to court in Richmond. And you know how close Richmond and Laurel County, London is. We don't call it Laurel County. We call it London. Our part really are Wonder who the fuck Katie's. Katie got a good source, by God. Shout out to Katie's production, is all I know to say.
If I could get hold of a couple of people that I know up there, this guy I know named Randall, they call him Randy, and then this other guy I know named Mike, they call him Boone. They could fill me in on everything comings and goings for London and Corbin ways on anybody that comes in and out there from Harlan or anywhere. If I could just get hold of them. I've been friend requesting them, but I haven't had no luck of them accepting it yet, because they don't really check that shit very often. So I just keep renewing the request. But I have changed the way I looked over the past few years, because you seen what I looked like a few years ago when I went to fucking jail. That just does not look like me at all, does it?
Nah. I remember seeing you in the dollar store and you was a fucking mess about 5 years ago.
Wreck. I was a
You've come
trashed
a
out
long way.
wreck. I absolutely was a wreck. I came 86 pounds and a lot of fucking mental health work away from what I was. That's a lot of hard work I've put into myself. I had spent a year not on mental health meds in that damn jail. And that's where you really fucking come to terms with your mental health, is in that fucking jail if you've got some mental problems going on. And
Yeah.
I still wrecked from that fucking acid that got dosed on me, and I had so much acid in me, I didn't think I'd bounce back from it. I really didn't. I still have a creep of it come up my spine into my thoughts sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
So
But
it's easily fair to obviously say that between me and you, we've done enough dope to kill Appalachia.
oh fuck yeah.
So what do you think this ass-banging son of a bitch's main drug is right now? Suboxone in a clinic? Suboxone in sober living? Because they're going to give it to him.
I think he may be
The
taking shots, because when I was in the rehab program, they was offering shots to people that was on probation parole that gives them 30 days off for each shot that they take off of their probation parole years.
Yeah.
It gives them 30 days off for each shot. So I think he may be on the shot.
But that shot's not Vivitrol, Brixada, or Sublocade. It's not going to block an amphetamine.
No, it don't. Don't block amphetamines or THC or anything like cocaine. So.
Or nutmeg. Ernie could be getting high off nutmeg. People can get high off nutmeg.
Yeah, I used to dose it in me when I had all them pancreatic problems. When they took my gallbladder out and gave me pancreatitis, I used to fucking do it nutmeg up, son. I'd take spoonfuls of that shit. And that Kratom, or whatever it's called. Kratom. Yeah, I had that shit I was taking. I take about 2 good spoons. It came with a little tiny wooden spoon that you could dip down in it. And I'd just pop that shit on my tongue and I'd swallow it with coffee. But you gotta be sure not to inhale while you got it on your tongue, or it'll choke you to death.
Weirdo doesn't work and he's sitting around while you work. Now, technically, you do.
I didn't ever know people could abuse nutmeg.
I don't know. I would not like it.
Yeah.
Until back a while back. And then I know a dude that was telling me about people abusing it, and I was like, what the fuck?
There's a lot of shit you can abuse. It's
what kind of
Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin's a legalized version of meth.
Girl.
There was a boy I was in rehab with. They wouldn't give him no Wellbutrin, so he got his sister on the phone when he had his phone call, his 10-minute phone call, and he told her, he said, drop some at the top of the road. And he said, I'm going to run out them dining room doors. He said, I'm going to run up to the top of the road and get it out from under that rock. And she said, all right. And she dropped him some, and he was running real goofy, and they started chasing after him. Don't leave. Thinking he was running away from rehab, and he just ran up there to get his Wellbutrin, and he came back. He said, I decided not to leave. But he was saying, I fucked up on Wellbutrin in there, snorting it.
It wasn't my production.
I seen fools put a whole pill, unnamed sources, unnamed friends, put a whole fucking pill on aluminum foil and smoke that motherfucker.
I don't know what
Yeah, there was a woman that I was in that rehab with talking about hot rail and Percocets and stuff. She said she just brought it up out of blue one time. She was real countryfied too. She said, and just said it out of blue. She said, "Well, I hot rails me some Percocets one time." I said, "You did what?" She said, "I hot rails me some Percocets." She said, "It's the best damn high I ever had once you get past the burnt pill smell." And I thought to myself, well, I can't quit until I hot rails me some Percocet now. I finally did, but I had it mixed with a little bit of clear, and it wasn't too bad. You know, it kind of stuffed my nose up though, but because I'm not much of a sniffer, and I used to be, but I kind of burnt my sniffing days up in the oxy days, so you know, it is what it is.
I don't know more than other people. Okay. We're all
Oh, Merlin.
know or not.
Yeah, she really was trying to blow our jail cell up, and K cell, where they was like them pod cells in there. We had 4 pods in there, 2 bunks to each room.
Yeah.
And I was in a bunk with Jessica Brock, and me and Jessica was getting ready to start heating up water for our coffee and stuff. And we'd already did our coffee, and then Merlin came out, and she used the microwave to heat her up some water and got some coffee from us to mix her up some coffee. And she's sitting in there talking to us, madder than hell about them 2 girls that she was sharing bunks with in there. Let's see here, it was Kelly Middleton, the one that Thomas Sylvester's with now, and what's that other girl's name? Erica Bergen. It's who she was mad at in there. So they was using her for snorkels and her cigarettes and her commissary. So they used her up, ate all of her candies and cakes, and drank all of her coffee up, and smoked all of her cigarettes up, and snorkeled all of her snorkels up. And she said they ain't paid her back or even made a gesture to, and she was pretty fucking mad about it. And she was very mad at Sherry Bergen too. I don't know if you know her. She's crazy.
I know Sherry's fucking crazy.
She's
ass
crazy.
well.
In fact, she's mad at Sherry because Sherry didn't do a jailhouse tattoo on her hand right. and she said, I'm gonna get these whores. She said it's war on K4 because she was in pod cell 4. She was on war on K4. K4 whores is going down, and everybody just got their commissary again. And Marilyn didn't get much, but she was packing it with her, not leaving it sitting around them. And next thing I know, I heard one of them little short girls scream, and she said, "Jesus Christ!" She said, "That shit is hot." She said, "It's about to blow up." And we looked out the door, and Jessica said, "What is it?" And me and Jess was the tallest ones to be able to reach up in there, because she barely reached up in there and got one because the microwave was smoking. And she said, "There's a freaking battery to a cigarette in there." And she said, "But it's still smoking in there like there's more." And Jess pulled out like 2 more. She had about 3 cigarette batteries in there from them e-cigs, and they was ready to blow the fuck up. She was trying to blow them all up, the ones that she thought was using her, because she went straight in that K4 pod and shut the door and locked the cell down so they couldn't come in there, and she was going to blow up the whole dining room. And she told me and Jess, she said, "Y'all might want to stay in here." She said, "Because it's war on them K4 whores." And she said, "Anybody else that's in the way," she said, "they're just in the way." But you could hear her in that cell going, boom, pow, bang.
Well, yes, she went back last night, and murder's my witness for this. The cop pulls up today looking for somebody that used to live here, and I'm like, "Well, fuck, they don't live here no more." I said, "You raided them, you kicked their ass and ran them out of here." And I said, "Merlin Monroe lives over there." I said, "You want to go find her?" And he said, "Hell no, she's crazy." I didn't know she was in jail yet. And then I asked him, yeah, I forget what else he said. Then I asked him if he knew that ass-banging son of a bitch, Ernest Shell. At first he said no, and then I said, "You know, the one was fucking with all the stolen vandal and this and that." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about, or some shit." So no, Ernie, these cops don't know you like what you're saying, you lying son of a bitch. Because that cop did not know Ernie except for just barely familiar with him.
Them fucking big
Nice.
boys who knows me.
Ernie's
The
in
little
her
ones.
chat. I will not disrupt my commitment to Kentucky. It's on my life, Katie. You all won the battle, but you will not win the war. I will be the next governor of Kentucky. 1,000,000% facts.
Self-proclaimed, maybe. I don't see him making it. I believe you'll make it being governor before him.
I got to go troll his ass since he's in there. I mean, I love making money trolling.
To his show every now and then. I'll get like a pop-up from Lightning Tiger Ernie or something like that. I don't know. I'll tell you what it shows up as. He'll send me like a link to his show, and I'm like,
yeah, he does me that way too.
And let's see here. Yeah, it's under Lightning Tiger, and that's it, Lightning Tiger. And he sends me like links to it. And I've got one link, it says 341. It's a sad day. I got some terrible news. And then there was one at 10:01 that says to say there is world out there full of evil is an understatement.
I like it when people get disappointed in him, okay?
Katie's
every now and then I
over.
click on it and listen some. But I haven't heard him say nothing about you on there when I have. And there once I think I did. And I think I messaged you about it. But I think he was live. I think I might have put it in the comments that he was talking about you. But it wasn't bad. He wasn't saying nothing bad.
Tina, you didn't have a hand in it. Let's see where it gets you, he says.
You said that yesterday, Mark. You said that yesterday, the birds ate your seed. But I'm asking cookie dough ice cream why they're disappointed for.
I'll be the lieutenant governor of Kentucky for you, Ernie. We can eat biscuits and gravy, drink sun bop, and send the police to Jimbo's house every day.
Closest I've been to a governor or a senator was my mom's cousin Johnny Turner. So that's as close as I've got to be to one. And
no website.
he wouldn't represent me on none of my cases that dealt with paraphernalia or drugs because he said he didn't want linked to no kind of drug cases, is what he told me on his family. He wasn't going to fuck with it. And I thought, you son of a bitch, you could have helped me get out of this way sooner than me having to sit for a year.
Okay, they paid you money for something in return. This wasn't.
Where's the duck contest now?
The nut contest. What kind of nut contest?
Remember when he first got out, he was doing the duck race?
Oh, the duck. I thought you said a nut.
Do your research.
I haven't seen duck
Justice
races.
for the ducks. He's on the link to Katie's.
He's paneling up.
Paneling up after he's done quitting, going to crazy houses and everything else.
I think he's addicted to the attention.
Oh, definitely.
The 28th.
He's a social whore. What he is.
A social
whore. He's a social media whore.
To find a game where it has tigers.
And whenever he came about saying that he was quitting and all that shit, I did watch that little episode where he's talking about resigning out and this and that and turning it over to the new ones for their whatever, to take over the new little Tiger Ops trainees and shit. And I thought to myself, you ain't going nowhere. I was like, you've done invested yourself so deep into this shit, trying to make yourself into something. You're not going nowhere. That was my thoughts, and I wanted to say it, but I didn't, because I try not to comment no bad stuff or asshole stuff on people's things, And
I mean, I don't understand what the fuck he had a butthole stretcher, or was it Jimbo's? Jimbo said they had an anal stretcher and all kinds of other stuff.
He's into some pinky stuff, wasn't he?
I never heard of no anal stretchers in my fucking life.
Well, even if he's not gay, there's straight men into the anal shit, but I've been hearing a lot of the gay talk of him hooking up with men on the down low. You know, and most of the men that hooks up on the down low are on that methamphetamine, because some of that methamphetamine turned a lot of these men gay.
Horny dope, by God.
Well, they mostly blame the dope for turning them gay, but it actually, all it did was just like release like some inhibitions they had suppressed, you know, and it gave them an excuse, you know, was all it did. And you see a lot more pocketbook dog purse carrying motherfuckers out here with pet kitty cats now than you do women, you know. You see more men with these pocketbook dogs and pussy cats as pets playing dress up with clothes and women's clothes and stuff than you do the women. And women's out here doing more manly shit, pulling off the men shit, trying to be the man they need, you know, because they can't find one no more. And I'm telling you, I don't see no women hookers out no more at all, because I don't think they got really any business no more, because they're all out here looking for them sweet cheek, rosy cheek men, you know, giving it up. They really are.
Agree.
And you mostly see the women out here flipping dope like the men would, and you see the men out here selling their ass and shit. And wearing the women's clothes too with that.
Yeah, like Walter Ward up there in Everett's to get Margaret to buying panties.
Yeah.
I bet Ernie's got a thong going right now.
Probably.
He's hollering he's got 10 minutes to let him up. It's 5:32.
What do you think he is, a cotton man or a satin man or a lace man?
Well, I think he's got a fucking one of these Food City bags tied up for a thong around his ice in his nuts. My God.
He's got some damn Reynolds wrap.
There you go.
I know somebody who used to fool with this one girl. She used to be a pretty big hooker, and he loved her to death. She was his girlfriend at one time, and he loved her to death and still would fool with her, but she'd always want him to eat her cat out. He'd always pull out a sheet of Reynolds wrap, he said, and she said that he would do this and put over her before he would do it. He'd use Reynolds wrap before touching her. Like
First time I ever ate ass, I used some
like with negativity and shit.
Reynolds wrap. Well, not aluminum foil, but the other kind. What you talking about? Reynolds wrap.
The clear plastic wrap.
Yeah.
I just hope they know that they absolutely.
Then I just turned into a goddamn fuck and said, fuck it. White ass.
You never did get to see my April Fool's post I put up yesterday, did you? Our buddy Sean, he liked it. He laughed his ass off about it. It got him pretty good. It got Chris too. Chris Shipman. Because Chris commented on there and he said, well, hell, he said, I thought it was me. You know what it was? I put up like a whole big like paragraph talking about how I didn't expect it to be at 43 years old, but here it is, and don't know how I'm going to make it work, but we're going to make it try to work. That I was pregnant and put up a sonogram picture. And at the end of it, it said, if you made it this far reading it, you should know this is an April Fool's joke. But then some woman, I mean, everybody was laughing at it that came on. It had probably like 50 laughs on it within the first hour until this one smart-ass woman came on there. That's not nothing to joke about. You know, there's women out here trying to have babies and you're making a joke about it and all this and that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, lighten up, lady. You know, it's just a joke, you know. It wasn't nothing like wreck on nobody, you know, nothing bad, you know, meaning any harm. Shit, you know, she's talking about how people's lost babies that really wanted them. Hell, I was one of them. I've lost babies. Shit, you know.
There goes a big old nice black Chrysler 4-door coming by here.
You just personalize something too bad. People that personalizes some things kills me sometimes. Just taking things just too personalized.
But you promised the people.
Where you at? Middlesboro?
Yep, I'm down here in the borough.
That damn was laid with dick suck. Fuck.
So when, Ernie, are you?
Sorry.
So when?
You can stretch it that far. Bring it down towards 31st Street.
If motherfucker brought Lady come on fix the goddamn car. I'd just run down through her. I'm just being lazy about it.
I don't want to do it wrong.
I know a chick down here I could hook you up with. You'd probably fall in love with her. Got blonde curly hair. She's kind of short, like she's about 5'4". Got big old titties and a big old ass and an itty bitty waist.
They wanted to do.
She's maybe about 45, 46, but she don't look her age. She looks like she might be about early 30s. Got long blonde wavy curly hair down to her ass. She has a shitty old man she's been leaving for the past 6-7 months. They just live in the same house, but they both see other people. She drives a big old Hummer.
Damn.
If I could get up with her, I've been trying to get up with her here for the past month, and I ain't been able to get up with her. I don't know what's going on with her here for the past month. I'd hook you right up with her.
Then I tell you, you'd be notified.
Name's
He's
Sue.
only got 5 minutes left. She ain't gonna let him up. And I hope and pray she don't let him up just to fuck with him. Then he'll come over here and we'll let him up and let him say one word. We'll kick him and let him up and say one word. Or if we might not even let him up either. Fuck that ass-banging son of a bitch. Somebody just had a good point.
Up there and talk about putting him in the bird cage.
No, we kicked Birdo from Crack 40 TV too for being me yesterday morning. Birdo had to fly to another community or go back to work or something because he's being mean to Lori 33. And he wouldn't apologize. And he couldn't even fake apologize.
It's like I told you before, he's got clit envy. He wants pussy so bad he ain't got it yet. He's got clit envy. He can say he's got one. He's got that boy pussy, but he ain't got no girl pussy yet, or he would have known what that one woman was talking about dilation, of keeping himself dilation in practice after having the surgery and stuff. Or he would have known all about that. And he didn't know shit about it to talk about it. He's just got boy pussy. And he's got clit envy for that.
Clit envy is the best. That might be the word of the fucking day.
So basically,
Yep, that's what he has, clit envy.
Katie will not let him up. He'll be over here trying to get up a minute. When he comes over here,
yeah,
let him up and say one word and kick him. Let him up and say one word and kick him.
And where Birdo
Hey, that wasn't right, sunshine.
And where Birdo isn't hooking up with nobody, he's got to be fucking sexually suppressed so bad with hormones raging. He's got blue balls. He can't have blue tubes, so he's got blue balls. So
we want to do a game, and right now we're working on trying to do something with tigers and races and stuff like that.
Tigers and races.
Plus, I also said.
Did she let him up?
No.
I thought that might have been him talking for a minute.
No, she's replaying his shit from earlier.
Every single month. You do understand that, right?
Who's this ass-banging brackets? Brackets coming by like they're moving a trailer. And then I just seen a black Chrysler going by. You don't think that's Tiger Ops? That might have been Axure working for Brackets moving trailers.
They could be stalking you where they think you're a pedo on poor little Caden Shanks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Katie, or
they didn't get
Katie,
out of it.
Come down here and I'll bath you, by God.
If it doesn't make sense,
you're gonna tongue bath him and shit.
Well, yeah.
Really not true.
I haven't seen Caden since he was a little boy. I just talked to his mommy a couple of weeks ago.
What's she doing?
She's doing real good. Me and her was trading clothes. We like to trade clothes out and shoes out and stuff.
Same old.
We keep our wardrobe fresh like that. Gabe's out. I just seen him today.
Gabe's out?
Gabe's out.
I just gonna go down there and hit that.
Yeah,
I've been
Gabe's
down
out.
to hit that since '95.
He seems like he's doing all right coming out. He was with Marker, and they was coming down here to check out some yard sales, some stuff. They had me walk up to it to see if it was worth coming down to because it had a bunch of stuff like what Mark collects. And I called him when I was at it, and I said, yeah, it's worth coming to. They got everything of what you like to collect. I said, hit it.
What do you know about Tatum Mills?
Tina Mills. Why does that sound familiar?
Tina Mills, bitch, used to work at the jail. She used to be a firefighter, and then she got in trouble for
She was on the Harlan department, wasn't she?
Yeah, bitch was FaceTiming Austin Barga and all them boys in Czechia.
She's a big girl.
Got fired. And she got on that go and left some kids unattended or some shit. And now then I got some stuff leaked to me, a video of her.
Yeah, I think that was going on while I was in jail. She was visiting some of the dude inmates. And there was another girl that was doing that too that was there. What was her fucking name? I forget her name, but she's a little young guard. And my friend that I was in my cell with, I ain't gonna say her name, but she told her, she said, look, you better quit visiting these boys. She said, because I know. She said, because I talked to them. She said, whenever I had my visits, she said, don't be visiting mama, dude. And she said, but he's told me about you visiting these other dudes and stuff. She said, you might want to stop. She said, because it's going to cost you your job. She said, because they do record that and they will back up and watch it. And she said, I'm just telling you to help you out, girl. What she told her, she said, because there's one already got in trouble for that shit or something. And she said, I don't do that and stuff, but you know she does. You know, you could hear her trying to play grab ass with some of the dude guards right in the hallway outside the hold cells and shit when we was in her hold.
That's a real good one.
I don't think we're allowed to share.
So I got a couple phone calls after this is over.
I don't know.
There's a meeting at 2 o'clock.
Meeting's at 2 o'clock.
I'm going to be doing into that. I'm going into that. I need to know.
What meeting? She said, whenever I had my visit.
What people you like. They do it all the time, Cookie Dough. They do it all the time on YouTube. People postpone drawings and people postpone things all the time.
Do you got a meeting you got to watch or go to or what?
I'm listening to this ass-banging son of a bitch.
No, they don't. They don't postpone shit.
Yeah.
So he thinks that he can just go. He says he knows somebody that's good friends.
I'm going to go on there on my phone and see if I can see it.
Russell Brand and stuff, and he's going to go get.
Which one is it, Katie?
So he's going to get Mel Gibson.
Well, what happened to Trish Stratus and Hulk Hogan, Ernest, you ass-banging son of a bitch?
Inspired to be a big time.
Doug.
A-list celebrity.
I thought Mel Gibson was dead or real fucking sick. Val Kilmer died today.
Val Kilmer?
Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. Fucking throat
I
cancer.
never expected that.
65.
It's like a, what's his face, that played Chandler on Friends? I would have never thought he would have been one that they found dead no day.
Ketamine the fuck up, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
I wholeheartedly support you interviewing.
And then that one dude from that one band.
I don't know why.
What's Katie's channel under? I'm not sure I got her.
Blame Katie.
The time, even 1 minute, take the time to pop up on your live stream, Arnie, in which you have like, I don't know, 2 hours.
He's been watching Mel Gibson movies, ain't he?
I don't know, like you're on a new channel.
Oh, I'm finding something. Katie Turner.
Okay, but I totally.
Pride kills. I definitely.
You can get Mel Gibson or Russell Brand on your channel.
I'll agree with Pride kills all day long.
Let me know. And I'll go over and say hi to Russell. How about that?
Yeah. You get Russell on you. You get Russell and Mel on there and I'll suck their fucking dicks, Ernie.
Swinging from a tree. And then I thought to myself, you know what? Then I put my people and their members into those monkeys swinging on branches.
She did put him up, didn't she?
I swear, they laughed their ass.
No, she's just replaying his stream.
Oh. You got a branch, and you got to grab the other branch and start swinging and stuff. And then the winner, the monkey wins, whatever number you pick, or whatever deal is on the monkey's back or whatever. But then I thought, I'd like, if I do that, then they're going to think they're the monkeys that the branches are falling and breaking, and they're falling to the ground.
What
Maybe
the?
it's monkey, you know, we're not monkeys. That's the monkey girls. We're not monkeys. So now, now it'd be good if it went with a monkey, you know. But and tigers don't swing from branches, so we had to figure something out that kind of goes with that.
Tigers pounce from tree to tree, you ass banging son of a bitch. Hell, I made $100 on my check already this month. Going rawr today.
Who the fuck is gonna
You're
pay
gonna have
for
to start saying it's great like Tony the Tiger now.
like for real, Ernie?
We're gonna make a thumbnail. Thank you,
Can you please
Ernie the
make it a
Tiger
little
cereal.
more
By
visual?
God,
Like I totally like this. I love the lark. I live
Yeah.
for this kind of lark. Okay, but
Back in
like
1 second. I'll be right back.
so unbelievable.
oh, now somebody had a good point a minute ago.
We're talking to some of his people right now. They're
YouTube was kind of dead. Every one of us went through a dead phase. When what's up, AP?
we need to be thankful for today.
When Ernie was locked up, it was a little dead. I didn't have no mirror walks to go on hardly.
Had 400 or 500 people. Then go. You don't need to wait. Then go somewhere. Go somewhere. Go somewhere.
Go to a tiger cave.
It's your freedom of choice. It's you. It's you. I don't care if you're being.
Hold on, I'm helping my sister with her iPhone 15 real quick. She's got an Apple ID lock thing going on.
Doesn't exist. I'm gonna go ahead and put you out of here. Okay.
Nah, but I'm eating can of butter.
I already gave away money, people.
Wish I had some can of butter.
You give money away
Hey,
and
up
not
here at my vape store, you would love their weed selection that they got.
those things are
They
not
sell bud up there. It's really good. And some really good edibles.
they're independent.
You can
of
either buy them
That's
by
what
the
I need.
jars, buy them by the packages, or you can buy them by the singles. You can get like 3 singles for like $5, and they're about as round as a silver dollar, the gummies is. And you can stay high on them for 3 weeks, just 3 of them.
Shit, it's a $sign crack 40 TV, AP.
Place called Happy Smoke. It's right up there next to the Chinese food restaurant here in Middlesboro. It's a good place to go.
It don't matter.
It does matter.
I believe he's a schizophrenic and spanking son of a bitch. He'd take 20 pencils and put them in a rubber band and ram them up his fucking ass. Then he'd shit out lit rainbow turds. Get a bunch of them sharp colored Sharpies you was talking about.
I gotta go through. Be done with it.
Set on them all at once, by God. Rawr!
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sorry, I'm untrustworthy. Again, sorry.
Well, you give people AIDS, rip old people off, rip anybody off you can. Tigers ain't allowed to have guns. Even felons ain't even in thumbnails.
Ernie.
I think it's
Shit, I get a quarter for 35 out of the press, 70 for the good, by God.
look, we're not doing no real action.
Send it don't make can of butter for you like right now. I'll show you how to make can of butter.
Okay, so did we take care of Maggie Bag and the other few tigers that are not in their chat? Have we took care of that beloved ghost?
I hope I ain't about to get the shits or something. When I was eating the rest of that spam salad, I tasted one bite that tasted off. And now I feel like I'm going to go shit a bunch of liquid out in about 30 minutes or puke.
You gotta wear your helmets and your hard hat.
Ernie's definitely got his bulge. What's the word I'm looking for? Filtered.
Isn't OSHA a Scientology?
Yep. Is that not a bulge? A fake bulge?
Isn't OSHA a part of Scientology?
Fake bulge, Asia. Fake bulge.
Everybody, you got a chance to make money today.
Oh, sorry.
All I see is a fake bulge, and I hope and pray to God I ain't getting sick off that spam salad I eat or something. When I smoked a cigarette earlier, when I get sick, cigarettes taste different. I was like, what the fuck? That cigarette tastes like I'm getting sick.
I swear to God, Rosa fucking waits in the bushes for me to get something wrong, and then he'll come out and tell me what it is. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Corrosive.
Ass-banging line,
Live for
motherfucker.
that, y'all. Corrosive. Damn it.
I know what the it factor is.
You would have $2,500.
Okay, here. This was my favorite part.
Hey, Murderer Brad, y'all good at iCloud addresses like the iLocks on the phone for iCloud addresses?
We gave you 100 names.
What about them?
My sister's got her phone locked up to a certain iCloud address, and she don't know the password to it, and she's trying to do the account recovery, and it won't do it.
Did you plug it into a computer?
We don't have no laptop. Well, I don't have my computer right now, and my mom's ain't working right now with us. So, what do you prefer, a laptop or a regular computer? Because we tried my regular desktop before, and it won't work for us.
You got to download the iTunes, Apple iTunes on your computer or laptop, and then
You think it'd work if she used my iPad?
Nah. It's got to be a computer, so you can plug in the. You got to plug into the phone to the computer.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna have to get your computer to do it. Okay.
I would know that password would be good, but you know how
I'll be right back.
Ernie, are you nuts? But do you see how excited he gets? He acts like that is attainable. He acts like these people. He acts like Charlie can do that. Charlie, you can call 100 people, and if you get all 100 people, 100 companies to be sponsors, you can make $2,500. First of all,
PayPal it, by God. Throw it in the super chat. Fuck it.
Underground wages, okay? I don't know what kind of a cut you're giving them, but no way. No fucking way.
Which you can do 20 calls or 20 emails, like fuck you send the first 20 out a matter of minutes. A matter of minutes. And can you imagine in those 20, you was to get 8 or 9, 10? Well, fuck, look how much money that is. That's one day. That's not 10 minutes.
I swear to God, I believe I'm catching fucking nut. I think I got food poisoning or something.
Target company. And is he doing this like globally? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, no, you're not blocked. Look, JP, why would you be blocked? Yes, this is cold call. Cold calls, you can't, they're not even a thing anymore. People don't answer, like, there's a reason why, like, the numbers on your phone from cold calls don't pop up. It's potential spam, okay? Cold calls are down. They're gone. Nobody answers a cold call. Okay. Now he's just screwing around. We're going to get into the sad day today. So that live was this morning, y'all. And now so when I was live, he came into my chat and said that we ruined his life. So I don't know what happened, but actually I did get some intel. And we can go over that.
By God, Katie got intel.
Like for real, he was crying.
I want to hear him cry. Tiger cry, won't you fucking cry? Ow! Mine, they've dropped it 100 times. You trolling, you ain't about to send no money. Get the fuck up on out of here, trolling. Fuck you and your money, you son of a bitch. And you just trolling, motherfucker.
Lightning vote in the chat.
Lightning vote in the chat. Lightning vote in the chat.
I believe we figured it out. She's getting on her
I caught
iPad.
that 5 minutes ago, Asia. I just didn't say nothing. It was a sting, Asia.
Thank you.
We finally got figured out iPads are linked to the iPhones, so
Really bad.
maybe she can get into it through iCloud address that way. And sitting here breaking phones and shit.
There's a bunch of lies.
iCloud breaking them. Google bypass and stuff on some. She's got so many phones. She's got about 3 or 4 iPhones in there.
So while I'm doing that through this probation, I'm allowed to go to college. I'm allowed to do the things I need to do.
I thought he was going to be like a trucker or something there at one point. Am I wrong? I thought I seen a picture somewhere of
Can
him like
tigers
as a
get
trucker.
CDLs?
I don't know. I thought he was going to be a certified tiger.
He said that he got, like, he's not Tiger Ops anymore, and he said that he had a whole new team.
Does he have a license
Y'all remember?
to even drive a
He said
moped
that
or
he
anything?
I don't fucking know.
Y'all.
Because I believe you even got to have a license to drive a moped, like a Class B or
Why
something.
aren't you allowed or anything? What happened?
I'm not allowed to be a part of Tiger Ops. I'm not
I
allowed
think
to
you
be
got to have a
part-
license to drive a damn go-kart nowadays. A golf cart.
I'm not.
I mean, on Larry Hoover.
I told you all the lies. And what they've done to me.
Missy tickles me. She's got a golf cart, and I've tried my best to talk her out of that so I can get it for down here to drive back and forth to the damn dollar store from my house to there.
What's she doing? Driving
You don't
up
wanna
to
give
the coal bucket back when that comp ain't home?
Yeah.
That's Misty, my
Driving
dog.
it at night back and forth to her cousin's house and stuff in different places. But she charges it up and she goes. I don't blame her. Shit, if I had it, I'd be on fucking wheels with it too. I don't think I wouldn't go. They don't let me drive right now because of seizures. They won't let me have my license for 6 months. I have to be seizure free before they let me have my license. And every time I'm right there ready to take it, I have it scheduled to go to it and everything, I fall out and have one bigger than shit every damn time. And I don't know why, but I do. And it's pissing me off because the last one I fell face first on my mom's hardwood floor and I broke my nose clean in half. I had a big cut across my nose and everything. And everybody was asking me who hit me. Because it looked like somebody just squared off punched me straight in my face and broke my nose, is what it looked like. I woke up in a puddle of blood, looked like I'd bled out 3 pints of blood on the floor. It was horrible. But that's what set me back this time on getting them. But
I'm not going to be doing much with it.
hey, there's a lot of messages getting deleted on chat, isn't there?
I don't know, are they?
Yeah.
I guess they get deleted before I see them where I'm on StreamYard looking at it.
Oh, somebody named App D Healing.
Oh, yeah,
is
some
talking
lying
some
son of a
shit.
bitch acting like he's going to send cash out.
Yeah, he's on here talking some shit.
He can suck a fucking dick. He's full of lying shit.
Yeah, Asia's been on it, blocking them out, deleting them. So she's been on it being a good mod for you.
Look out here. That fucking cat went over to Steve's and had babies. Dolph did and moved in with Dolph, or moved in over there. Steve said its name was a little slow before he went to jail 13 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, that tiger, I was just about to show y'all that panther tiger out here just left. There's Steve and his Steve's bicycle, though.
I haven't seen Steve in forever, but I only met him a couple of times in passing. In places, just in passing, not really talking. So I know him, but I don't know him.
Don't blame production. Production grabs shit from the internet.
And I only know people like that just in passing, just from meeting them a couple of times like that. I don't really talk about them much. But he hooked up with Marilyn. I bet she wrecked his world after 2 or 3 days.
Oh, yeah, he said he couldn't handle her grunting all the time.
Oh, yeah, she'll grunt and growl like she's unloading something out of her chest, like a fierce demon or something. It sounds like she needs an exorcism done on her chest, and she'll lay and sleep with her mouth open and snore. And I know she was doing that at the rehab one time. One of them girls nudged me. There was a fly bouncing back and forth about to go in her mouth at the rehab. And I nudged her and said, Marilyn, wake up. You're about to have a fly go in your mouth. But yeah, she's wilder than a buck. She got wild at that rehab when they sent her to that one over in Hazard for like phase 2 and 3 of her treatment. they wasn't giving her medicine on time, and she didn't want to stand in line behind 100 people and wait. So she would miss her medicine doses of her psychiatric medicine, and she got to where she was talking to about the 7 or 8 other people in her head, and she was getting pretty bad off. They lined about 7 different cop cars up outside to come in on one woman to take her to the mental health home. For one woman.
Well, I mean, it's
And
Merlin.
shit.
Goldsboro, Monroe,
Totally.
Capone.
I said, you ain't got to do all that on her. I said, leave her alone. And I was actually telling cops, leave her the fuck alone. I was coming out there cussing them and getting them away from her room trying to. I said, she'll come out. I said, you just got to talk to her with sense. I said, she's got sense. She ain't stupid. And I said, you ain't got to come aggressive on her. I said, she'll go. If you just tell her where she's going, she'll go. You know, I said, she wants her meds. She's not refusing them. I said, she just can't get them because they don't want to give them to her after everybody's gone.
To make you eligible to run for governor.
But you wait in line behind 150 people for an hour and a half. You get tired of standing there. You're going to go sit down somewhere, aren't you? And
Well, yeah.
I will run, and I will win.
He
She's
go and
talking
sit
about
down.
having threesomes with Brewster and Bruce Cox and everything over here back on.
Buddy, that woman's been wild in her day. She can tell you some tales that would fucking send shivers up your spine of some crazy, weird, freaky shit she's done.
Assist with any kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
She'd always tickle me, though, in jail when they put her in them hold cells. I was in the hold for about 4 months straight, and they put her in the hold cell next to me, and she'd sing all these country songs and stuff to the top of her lungs just to aggravate them. She'd start singing 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses. That was her favorite one to sing over and over. She'd sing 18 Wheels and a Dozen Roses as off key as she could, screaming it. And she took baby powder. She ordered like 4 big tubs of baby powder on commissary and had it in there with her. And she took that shit and she shook that baby powder all over that damn cell, trying to splatter that camera with it so they couldn't see her no more. She didn't want them watching her no more. She had about 2 tubs of coffee creamer. She done the same way. And she was demanding, she wanted her e-cigs, and they didn't want to give them to her because she was under punishment. And by God, she got them. They ended up giving them to her too. But they had her trying to make her wear diapers and everything. Said that she was shitting herself and everything in there. She was bad off wanting her shot that she was getting from Dr. Rossi for her mental health. They wouldn't give it to her because they're not a mental health facility, is what they tell you. So they will not give you mental health meds in there unless it's specialty ordered, by a doctor to them. And they didn't want to take her to the no doctor or nothing. And she would beg them to take her to the shower, and they didn't want to come in that cell to even fuck with her, because when they come in that cell to fuck with her, they'd come in about 4 or 5 deep just to handle her, because she'd whoop every one of them. And she really wasn't hard to deal with. All she wanted was her damn medication. That's all she wanted. And what pills they was giving her, they asked her, they said, well, what are you doing with the pills that we're giving you? You are swallowing them, ain't you? She said, no, I'm snorting them. And I don't know what they was giving her, but it wasn't nothing you could get home. But she was sitting there snorting them off that little table in that hotel with powder all over the damn place, covered in cameras. They couldn't see her. And what's his name? Is it Medford in there? That main guard guy, I forget his name.
Dan Howard.
One of the main guard guys that comes through there that's over them.
Junior Bennett.
No, it's something like Medford or something like that. He came through her one day and he was peeking at her, and she said, "Who the fuck is that?" He said, "It's me, the man, the myth, the legend." She said, "Oh, go fuck yourself." She said, "You tell BJ Burkhart I want my fucking money back that they supposed to give me for going to court when I went back to court." And because she paid her own bond to get out that time before that, and they took her to court, so she wouldn't miss her court date because she's on the docket. And she said they supposed to put $500 some back into my account gave back to me for going to court. She said, and I'm not paying another 500 and some to get out when they've already got my money, and they better be letting me out. And they said, well, you're going to have to sit here about 6 more months unless you pay it to get out. And she said, I'm not sitting here no 6 more months, motherfuckers. She would cuss them. You wouldn't believe. She had names for them I've never even heard people speak.
She'll burn this place down eventually.
Buddy, when it goes all to hell, I believe she will fucking take Harlan with her. She'll take everyone in it with her. But
listen to Ernie cry.
God help you if she ever gets on that meth around you down there. She's a fucking sight on that dope. She is a sight.
So far, I couldn't get her none if I wanted to, but so far right here, there's just none. Thank God. And if she had a chance to get it or get some liquor, she'd be on it.
Oh, it's down there.
It is now, places.
Buddy, I've not even been buying it, and I know everywhere to get it down there. Which I never really ever had to buy it anyways. It was always pretty much given to me or traded to me for stuff. Where people just give it to me. And then I'd get rid of it for shit that I needed, cigarettes or whatever, trading it off. Trade it off to people for a place to stay, I wouldn't overstay my welcome. I'd stay with certain people for about a week. I'd give them like $1 a day to stay for a place to lay my head and sleep and wash my ass, wash my clothes. And then I'd leave and go to the next person's house for about a week.
Better than Thomas's chicken coop.
I'm telling you, I didn't sit still where I was fucking with that dope, though, because I didn't want nobody to know exactly where I was at, so anybody didn't have no chance to pop me for nothing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They can't find you. They can't get you.
Do you still use anything?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Some edibles every now and then. But yeah, I came my hair relapsing really bad there a couple of weeks ago, though. I came my hair of it. I had all access to anything I wanted to do. So, I can't say I didn't have some weakness to it. I came my hair like overboard and doing it. I ain't even gonna lie about it. If I sat around it every day, I'd then be every day on it. Again, if I'd been around it every day for at least 3 or 4 days to a week, I'd be back on it full-fledged. I know I would. Because I'm one of these, I'll sit and do it until it's gone. Go get more and do it till it's gone. Do it till it's gone, do it till it's gone, Get more and more. Because I didn't make a little and quit, There's always more out there.
It's never been for me, thank God. Every time I've done it, it's just been a trip, bad trips for me.
Well, I get around pretty good people that does it, and they're not stupid and out there, which I know some that's been hot shotted to death, and they see the shadow ninjas and the lurkers, and there's some that calls them lurkers, and they got their shadow people and they got their wind talkers, and oh buddy, you got people talking to the spirits in the walls, and you got some that's took up Satanism, worshiping the devil on it, and then you got some that's just took up homosexuality, and so you got the ones that puts off a rapery vibe when they get on it,
Yeah. Well, I'm at that grace now, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some that went to jail from up Graves Knob Way there last week. Got arrested there around Wallens Ways for dope, and one of them just got cited and walked away for drugs. I've never heard of a citation for drugs, of having not go to jail. Have you?
Methamphetamine.
Exactly. But One went to jail for, possession of it, and the other one just got cited for possession of it. And I was like, well, that says a lot,
They split Bud and Courtney Gooden last night.
That ain't good.
All I gotta do is get on the jail site and I can figure out what happened, by who's got arrested and where, by what cop, because of what district they all be working.
Well, you can always, follow the pages at the Sheriff's Department and that 106.3, I think it is. And they're always releasing, the arrest updates and stuff, like daily to every other day. And that'll tell you pretty much what you need to know on a lot. Do you see where they arrested that couple down here in Middlesboro for abuse of that kid, that little boy? Strangling him, taping him up, and throwing him in cold showers, and picking him up by his feet and beating his head on the floor like that, and beating on the little kid and stuff. He wasn't but like 5 years old. They took his mommy and daddy to jail for it. For bad child abuse and neglect, I reckon. There was a video of it circulating around on Facebook. That's what got their attention. Somebody videoed it that was at their house. I don't know why that person didn't stop it. They should have stood up and stopped that shit, if they seen that shit going on. They're just as guilty of it if they didn't stop it,
What is going to be on your list? Because
To me, they was,
you've done nothing.
I couldn't hurt a baby like that. They said that they'd beat on him for coloring outside of his lines, coloring pages for homework and stuff, so they'd whoop on him for that. All kinds of things. Hold on, I can look it up and show you.
I don't
Let's see here.
understand. You went to jail. You're a felon. People that are going to run for governor, they have.
I tell you, I swear, when I was listening to Katie earlier, I made spam fucking salad, and it was so good.
Spam salad, that sounds good.
One bite of it tasted poisoned or something, and it was too late.
Oh, God. Runchy on it, didn't it?
My whole body from my waist up was rushing with warmness, heat. Cigarette tastes different. I believe I got food poisoning.
May have.
Programs and stuff. It's not just about the jails and getting back at the cops and the
Well, I'd say.
But yeah, follow that page, the big one, 106.3 FM, WRAL.
Yeah, I do.
And you can get a lot of updates on stuff on it too. My brother-in-law was on there for losing his job as an EMS worker, for threatening his fellow co-workers and being just an asshole, basically. He lost his job right in front of the whole city council of Middlesboro. They fired his ass. He told him he wasn't worried about it, that when his dad died, he left him pretty well off. He's all right. No big deal to him. Fuck him. But he's an asshole. He told my mom, he said if there was ever an ambulance call come for her and he's the driver, which he prayed that he was, that he'd pull over on the side of the road and wait for her to die before he'd take her on in. That's how big of an asshole he is. I'm trying to find that report about that man.
Brett? Is this crispy? Brett, who's up on panel with us? Is this crispy?
No, this is Amanda.
Oh, it's Amanda.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to chill for a minute because I think I'm gonna have to drink some cold water and make myself puke. I don't know what to do. I just feel so hot from my waist up.
Yeah, Murder, you didn't hear him say, well, it's sternum breaker when I came up.
I feel weird. I swear to fucking God, I got food poisoning. It's weird. Last year on Danny's birthday, the day before, me and Mark Stewart went four-wheeling and I caught that virus they had. I swear I feel like I got something. When cigarettes don't taste right, I know something ain't right.
Right.
I'm afraid to fart right now. Go watch Katie.